So I don't know, I don't know what this video is gonna be about, but I had a bunch of thoughts, and I was like, I have a bunch of thoughts, so I might as well get them out here. So, as you guys know, June 7th, last Saturday, was the last day of Muppet Vision 3D. You know, one of Jim Henson's last projects before he passed, and arguably something we thought would never get shut down because, but then again, you would expect nothing less from Disney, this regime of Disney, who has done nothing with the Muppets, because there's, I don't know what it is, next to nothing with the Muppets. They bury them consistently, and as a big Muppet fan, that bothers me. And while I am happy that we are getting, you know, Rock and Roller Coaster, you know, is being rethemed to a Muppet ride, which the only thing that would have made that better, and I think it's a cool idea, I just don't like the idea of, like, having current singers do songs of the Muppets. The Muppets can sing themselves. Thank you very much. The only thing that would have made that coaster better, if you made it, like, goofy, like, to really get that nostalgia millennial bait, is if you replaced it with Powerline. Like, it's a goofy movie, and like Max and Goofy are like going to a Powerline concert, because tell me that wouldn't be good to hear Eye to Eye while going on that coaster, right? Anyway, but that's not what we're going to be talking about in this video. What I am going to, like, give my thoughts on, and I did give my thoughts on, like, just the absolute insanity that was, like, when Splash Mountain closed down. I'm going to give my thoughts on the fake love, for lack of a better word, I have seen from vloggers and other people and things like that. I was, like, scrolling through social media, not even intentional, but I like passed 30 videos of, like, people, like, doing lip sync video to Rainbow Connection as they're looking sad and depressed, or they're talking about, like, how much they love the Muppets this whole time. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, leaning back in my chair, like, where the fuck were you for all these years? Like, that's my thing, is that it's just feel like if you really loved it, and I always made it a point, even though I haven't been to Disney since 2019, yeah, I made it a point of going to Muppet Vision whenever I was at Disney MGM Studios. Fuck you, I don't care what it's called now, it's still Disney MGM Studios. Yeah. I always made it a point, because my family loved the Muppets. So when it got closed down, when it was announced to be closed down, it really sucked, and because I knew, like, it was gonna happen at some point. Like, that was my thing, is that I always knew it was gonna shut down at some point. And it was sad, because but it wasn't too dissimilar from, like, what this era of Disney has done with the Muppets. Like, yeah, you could say, like, oh, the Muppet movie and all that, and a few projects here and there. But let me ask you, did they really push for it, though? Did they really try to make a push for it without, like, cutting the legs off out from under them? No? Yeah? Yeah. So I knew this was going to happen, and who knows what the Monsters, Inc. Land is going to look like. I don't care. I have not cared. And it's not like, oh, I hate it because Disney's gone woke or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's just, I really have not liked a lot of the decisions Disney has done park-wise. And there are some, there are things within the company that have just felt very hypocritical, and you can just smell the hypocrisy in some decisions. And this is coming from a guy, like, I know someone's gonna be like, aren't you being a hypocrite yourself by, like, liking Disney stuff? Yeah, I make claims that I'm, in my own way, being hypocritical, that I'm watching Disney products like X-Men 97 and all the Marvel movies, and watching Star Wars and having Disney Plus myself. I'm just saying, like, as a corporation, I'm not a corporation. I'm not trying to deceive people into, like, saying I care about a certain thing and then do the other thing because I won't get money from another country. Yeah. But getting back on topic, the absolute, how do I put this? The absolute hypocrisy of some of these vloggers, and I'm not going to name anyone, the absolute hypocrisy and fake outrage and fake love. Now, there are some channels, I will give a caveat, that there are some YouTube channels that, and some vloggers and streamers that I do like, that have made logical arguments and have basically said, look, it sucks, hopefully they can save it and do right, but it's like what, it's basically a company decision at the end of the day. So I get it. Like those, like some of those like there are a lot of logical thinking channels out there that I really do enjoy, and vloggers and whatnot. But for the most part, I have seen nothing but absolute hollow tears for this attraction that everyone claims to love. I mean, if you did love it, why aren't I seeing like mountains of videos of like you being like, all right, I'm gonna go to Muppet Vision for the umpteenth time, and maybe they're out there, maybe they are, but for the most part, like these major ones, again, not naming any names, all I have really seen is just how much can we make it about me? Like that's really what it comes down to, is like how much can this attraction from a beloved artist, how much can I make it about me and my viewers, like feeling bad for me? And I know that's the core of YouTube at a whole, is like, you know, it's the ultimate form of pride and arrogance. I'm aware. I'm a cynical prick. I can be a real cynical prick sometimes. I mean, hell, look what the fuck I'm doing right now. But yeah, just the absolute, and here's the other thing. Here's what's going to happen in like a year or so. You guys are going to, these same vloggers who cry, who shed these tears, who make these sad videos, are going to go to the Monsters Inc. land, ride the roller coaster, and then say, you know, wow, it was amazing and whatever, and not mention Muppet Vision at all. Some might even say it's a worthy replace, like it's a better place for it. Like MGM's better for having this Monsters Inc. land. I guarantee you, because I've seen that before. I saw that, again, Splash Mountain, that's always contentious. I personally was like, yeah, it was probably high time to move on from Splash Mountain. It was way past time. I know, but Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I haven't been on the ride, so there's a massive difference and disconnect from being on the ride to being there in person. So, but what I've seen of footage, I'm like, the animatronics are really nice, and at least they kept the drops, but like there's no story here. There's no real major story here. But again, maybe if I one day go back to Disney and I go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, maybe I'll like it. Yeah. Yeah. And again, it really comes down, and maybe I'm going to be a little honest here. Maybe it's just from personal experiences of why I have a problem with this, and it's more of vloggers really, because as one would expect, I live in Florida. As most of you guys know, I live in Florida, namely Central Florida, and I am in Orlando a lot, like a lot, and I'm in the parks most of the time. Most of the time, it's Universal, but when I've been at, you know, events and at stuff like that, I've met, obviously you are going to on occasion you're going to run into a vlogger or so. And the four different vloggers I have met have all been negative experiences. Every fucking one of them. And right when they move past and be rude and shitty to me, they go right back to being like smiles and waves and things like that. And I know that's a case with like celebrities and whatnot, but here's the thing. You are not a celebrity, sir or madam. You're a person with a camera who gets paid more often than not. And some of them, like for the most part, it is a grind. Like if you want to do this, it is a expensive hobby. Not expensive hobby. It's a business. I'm not going to call it a hobby. That was rude. But it is an expensive thing to be a vlogger. I'm not going to lie. But there does come a point where it's like the companies will pay for your shit for themselves. So 9 times out of 10 at this point, when you meet these big time bloggers, they are more often than not getting paid to be here. Well, the rest of us have to pay to be here. So, you know, you're a person with a camera who's trying to promote this thing desperately, this event or new ride or what have you. Don't be shitty to people. You know, at one point you were like paying out of pocket to go to these parks like constantly, you know, and I really fucking despise. Like, you can be shitty to me all you want. Like, that's cool. Like, that's fine. Like, to quote Peter Venkman, I don't need this abuse from you. I've got a lot of people out there who want to abuse me. Cool. When you be shitty to my girlfriend, there's a different fucking story. So, yeah, when you be shitty to her, that's where I take real issue. You can be shitty to me all you want, and I'll just be like, fuck you, asshole, and go on with my day. Be shitty to her, and it's a different story. She had to keep it, like, there was a moment, like a hot second, where she grabbed me by the arm and went, don't. And I went, right. In public, too many witnesses. So, yeah. Maybe I'm just, again, maybe it's just personal bias talking when I'm talking about this video, but it's just so fucking theatrical, and it's so blatantly unrealistic that bothers me about all of this. Because if you really gave a shit, if you gave a single iota of a shit about this thing you claim to love, and this, man who put so much effort into this before he died, you'd have been there every day. There'd have been every video, a video every day of you at least being like, now on to Muppet Vision 3D, then come back. Wow, wasn't that fun? I mean, you could just, at the same time, you could just cut the video and then turn around and then be like, and then through editing, you just feel like you've been in the video the whole time. Yeah. And now, full caveat, I don't doubt that, there were major fans of it at that event, at that final night. I do not doubt for a second that there were people out there who really were emotional, who really were, sad about this. And they were really, heartbroken about this. But they got drowned out by a bunch of people wanting to get views. Yeah. That's the other thing, too, is that they got their sadness over losing this ride, whether it be a childhood memory or being a major fan of this IP, those people got drowned out by the end of the night. For the most part, it was, look at me, look at my video, don't get in my shot, but look at my video when it's done and looks so pretty. And look how much I cared, or make you think I cared, about this ride. That was 30 years old, and I got bored of it after a while because I wanted to see the new shiny thing dangling over there. Yeah. That's just, I didn't, like I said, this video, I don't normally do videos like this. I was just kind of this mindset of, Jesus Christ, this is a lot. It was the same thing, the same problem I had with, you guys remember when they did close down Splash Mountain, and it was just it was the last day of Splash Mountain. It was just lines of people and videos out the wazoo that all felt pretty fake in their own right. And you had people holding effigies for Splash Mountain, which is pretty fucked in its own right. You had people, taking dirt from it, or taking the water from Splash Mountain, and either keeping it in, a shrine or selling it on eBay for a fuck ton of money. Yeah. So this closure, it just made me not again. Anyway, so that's really all I had to say, so I'm out.